Hello and welcome to another epic interview. I reached out to one of my really wonderful supporters and commenters on this channel, and because he's also a fellow creator, and thought it would be cool to just get to know each other better. So, hi!
Hi, Katie. Hey, this is Don and Rosie. Hey, Rosie. Thank you for having us today. I'm very excited about this. I can't believe I'm here talking to you, Epic Katie. Let's go ahead and let's get started.
Sounds like a plan. So, where are you from and where do you currently live?
So I'm originally from a town in the United States called Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's in the northeastern United States. It's a steel mill town. And when I graduated high school, this was in the late 70s, early 80s, there were no jobs there. The steel industry had all but vanished. So I had some connections in Dallas, Texas, and that's where I currently reside, Dallas, Texas. So I moved from Pittsburgh to Dallas and got a job. I have been with the company that I work for now, August 11th of this year, 2020. I've been with that company for 40 years. The move seemed like it worked out pretty well. I'm going to get my little princess out of her outfit and I will be right back.
Wow, 40 years. I wonder how many people can say that. So, I'd love to hear a little bit more about you.
I'm 60 years old. Actually, the reality is I'm 58, but I just rounded up to 60 because I'm so close. I'm married to my soulmate Jenny, and we have our beautiful little puppy named Rosie. I enjoy cooking. Had YouTube channels where I did different types of cooking, barbecue, new wave oven, things of that nature. I enjoy photography. Before the unpleasantness that is upon us now in the year 2020, I did a lot of street photography in downtown Dallas. A lot of interesting things. A lot of history that doesn't shine a good light on Dallas, being JFK was assassinated here. But there are a lot of good things about Dallas also. And I enjoy going downtown and doing street photography.
You have left such wonderful, encouraging comments on my channel, and I really appreciate that. You are such an encouraging person. So, have you had some encouraging people in your life that have inspired you to be that way?
Well, thank you, Katie. That's a very nice compliment. And the answer is yes. I have crossed paths with many encouraging people on my journey. Starting in high school until current day, right now, they seem to show up when I may have a lack of confidence, some self-doubt about what is currently going on in my life at that point. And someone will magically, I say magically, but someone will appear, share some encouragement with me, help me realize that I can get past that point. I can move on to the next challenge. It may not always reach right out and slap me in my face that I am being encouraged, because at that point my head is full of self-doubt. But it's in hindsight that I can see where the encouragement came from to help me get past it. My wife, one of my biggest supporters, encourages me constantly. Jeff and Ava, they give me encouragement galore. They support what I'm doing on YouTube immensely. Somehow I feel a little guilty, as maybe, I don't know if guilty, but that they have become gamers themselves after watching me play. That's, I don't know, that's kind of cool, I think. I think that's why I like to share encouragement also, and hope somebody thinks, well, that's kind of cool. He helped me get past that point, and we are on to our next challenge. I like to share encouragement, and I appreciate encouragement. So, thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. So another question. As a child, did you ever get a present that just blew you away? You couldn't believe it.
Wow, what an interesting question. I received presents as a child, and it's not of a physical nature, where when we would do a family road trip. Those instilled in me things that are still very important to me to this day. We would load up in the car and head off, and it was always an adventure. So I love adventure. You would see things that you've never seen before. You see things that you don't see every day. That still drives me to this day.
I love that. I'm glad I'm really good at this question asking stuff, aren't I? Do you remember a time that you stood in front of something just like historical or big or old, and do you remember how it made you feel?
What a great question. My answer for that is in a short story. My wife and I were married in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the year 1998. January. That's important. January is important to this story. I made the decision. My wife was there, so somehow we had came to this decision together that we would drive to Las Vegas from Dallas, Texas. What I know now that I didn't know before then, you come across a lot of things during that time of year in that part of the country. Snow, ice, it can get pretty crazy. On our journey to Las Vegas, we stopped by the southern rim of the Grand Canyon. The northern rim was closed due to winter. Southern rim was open, so we were going to stop by there this was before we got married. Pulled up to the building where the park rangers stayed. Park ranger tells us Grand Canyon is full of fog. You won't be able to see anything. My wife and I my wife now, we looked at each other and said, basically, we're here. We are going to go and see what we can see. So, pulled into the park, pulled off to the very first scenic outlook. Get out of the car, walk down a little path. There it is. A whole bunch of fog. There's no telling what's there. And then almost, I don't know if I want to use the term magically, wind came up and kind of started blowing the fog out a little bit, layer after layer after layer. Each time, a little bit more of the Grand Canyon opened up. It would open up until finally we could see the Grand Canyon. Wow. Well, I don't know if you've seen it, but pictures, I'd seen pictures. You see movies. Until you see it in real life, it, the immensity, the grandeur, the beauty, all these words to try to explain what you see. It's just, yeah, it is impressive. And what made that day more impressive was the way it was presented to us in layers as the fog cleared slowly. So yeah, I'll never forget that day. And that was, to this point in my life, the most impressive natural wonder I've ever seen.
The whole time you were telling me this story, I was just grinning, just like. I actually went to the Grand Canyon, I think it was 98. I was 12. Thank you for sharing this story. I love it. So, what would be your idea of a perfect day?
I think I know the answer. I do know the answer due to perfect day for me has happened on occasion, and this is kind of how it plays out. I'm in my backyard, grilling, cooking out, watching my dog explore the backyard and try to find things that she's never seen before. Music is playing on my tablet. My wife comes out, sits down, and I ask her, who's singing that song that's playing on the tablet right now? A lot of times she gets the answer correct. But what happens is it starts a playful little chat between us. We're both the same generation, and we sit down and just kind of watch together as the little puppy plays out in the backyard, and we just sit there and watch her, kind of quietly. To me, that's the perfect day.
I hear you say this, and it just makes my heart feel happy. Like, it just feels like it's gonna burst. That this kind of genuine contentedness, there's just something so powerful about it. I think that a lot more people could learn from that kind of contentedness. Here is a very broad, huge question. What would you change about the world?
Wow. That, whoo, that is, okay. Oh, good guard dog, huh? All right, that is quite a question, right? What would I change about the world? The way I see it, the world is a global technologies that we have made the world a smaller place. However, myself, I still don't know a lot about the whole world. So, one thing I feel is before you make a change, you should know about what you're trying to change. So, I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to make a change for the world. What I do feel comfortable with trying to make a change is for my world. Uh, and the change I would make in my world is on a day-to-day basis, I really would try to be a better person. Probably sounds cliche, or I'm not sure the correct term, but I really would do that. I do try it. I do try to be a better person, but I'm also a human, and we go through the same struggles, challenges. But yeah, I think in my world, to be a better person, is a change that I would make? Whew, that was a very good question, Katie. So, Katie, my question for you is, when you finally get your driver's license and you're able to drive somewhere on your own, do you have a place that you want to go? Do you have somewhere picked out and say, I want to drive there?
You know, that's not something I've actually thought of. It wasn't, I never really thought much about a specific destination, just really more the feeling of if I was in a car and I was driving by myself, I could just pick a direction and go in it. But I'm really pleasantly surprised that you remember this detail about me. There's another detail about me, though, is that I'm a little bit directionally challenged. Like, I get lost way too easily. So, it's a little bit scary. The thought of having so much freedom is a little bit scary, too.
Who is your hero? And if you're not comfortable with letting me know who it is, could you share with me why they are your hero?
I want to cheat and share 3. This is my Uncle Steve. He's been gone about 9 years now, but he's so missed and so loved. Just the most generous, compassionate person you've ever met. As soon as anyone had any kind of need, you could just see him thinking, how can I help? You could see the wheels in his head turning. I am a Christian, so Jesus is definitely a hero. I love so much about how Jesus lived his life on earth, not getting sucked into the religion, but like literally calling out the Pharisees, the people who thought they were so much better than everyone else, calling them whitewashed tombs, full of looking nice on the outside but full of bones and dead stuff inside. Like, he was just not afraid to call out hypocrisy and to show love to the ones that nobody else wanted to show love to. And a human being, man that is alive right now, Shane Claiborne. He's following in Jesus' footsteps. He stands up for what's right and lives a life that is about bringing the light. The Irresistible Revolution. Oh, such a good book.
What was the biggest adrenaline rush of your life to this point?
It was one of the times when our twins were tiny little celery sticks at the hospital. And one of them, I was alone with them. Morton had gone to do grocery shopping or something, and it was a full thing. I was pumping all the time. Then we would have to put just a tiny amount of milk into the little droppers, into the tubes, and we had to do a litmus test to check a fluid from their feeding tubes from their nose, check if it was the right color, and had to just give them like a milliliter of milk every minute or so. And shortly after feeding them, one of them just was like, she'd stopped breathing. She was just like turning blue practically. And I just remember pushing the emergency buttons, and on the wall it was like red, green, red or something. It was like the high emergency code, and people just came running. And because I was pumping and wanting skin to skin contact with them all the time, I wasn't wearing much, just like a loose open hospital gown and maybe underwear. People just came running, and I was just crying and my baby, and they turned her over and they tried they massaged her face and they tried to get her to breathe again, and it was so scary. I'm pretty sure I'd never experienced in my life a time when it felt like everything was crumbling. Look at how healthy these kids are now. They're perfect.
Katie, my final question to you is, does getting older scare you? Or if not scared, do you have any feelings about getting older?
I really appreciate you asking me this, showing that you don't just see me as this young person, but like, no, we are all in the throes of aging. You can't see through my webcam, but I am becoming a silver fox. I'm not scared of it because I know it's inevitable, and I've always known it was inevitable. I count my gray hairs as my wisdom. Being aware of people holding on to this idea of youth being the best thing and the most important thing seems dumb to me. It's great to get older, to get more wisdom and to get more perspective and to be able to have more compassion for others based on the experiences that you've had. It's such a gift to be able to tell people that didn't experience things what your experiences were like when those things happened, and to be able to get those perspectives from others. I'm glad to get older. I'm glad to get to have life to experience and to be able to look back on wonderful experiences that I've had, or even tough ones that I've come through. I think now would be a great time for you to tell us about your YouTube channel.
Katie, thank you so much for today. Just thank you. Virtual hugs.
Hugs to you and to anyone else watching this. Thank you so much for doing this video, and thank you so much for watching and spending this time with us. It's been really great. I'm so thankful for this time.
Bye. Whoop. One more thing. I need to see the epic Katie closing move of your videos. Please share that with me.
You wouldn't be referring to the nostrils of death.
That was awesome. All right, now I say goodbye. Bye, Katie. I'm trying to do an interview here. I'm trying to do it. Hey, that bother you when you're chewing your bones? No.
Are you still here? That's awesome. If you haven't already, you should subscribe and come and enjoy more conversations. And if you've got a story to tell or your own channel or something, reach out to me. Let's have one of these things as well. You're cool. Super cool sticking around this long. What?
Sure, I can tell you a little bit about my YouTube channel. It's called Center Coast Video. When I created the name Center Coast Video, it was based on, you have the East Coast, the West Coast of the United States. Texas is, the Gulf of Mexico comes up and touches Texas. I tried to make a creative little pun, I guess. Center Coast, we are the Center Coast, hence Center Coast Video. The original intent of Center Coast Video was to create these epic B-roll, montage type videos that you see. And the channel just kind of sat there for a while with not much going on. And I stumbled across gamers on YouTube, people who play video games. I thought about it, talked to my wife. It seemed like a content type thing that would be sustainable. There's always new video games coming out. You can play them over again, and if you want to watch me, that's great. If not, so be it. I started the gaming channel on January 1st of 2019. I'm coming up on 2 years. Sorry, I think she's lost another bone. Basically, right now we're a nightly streamer. We play games each night and stream the video live. If you come by my stream, you will see the constant supporters that I have. My wife Jenny, my sister-in-law Ava, and my brother-in-law Jeff. Always out there, always encouraging me to keep going. Have various friends that we've made along the way that stop by and say hi. And it seems like a nice little community that we have. I enjoy it, and we're moderately successful. So far so good. We're going to keep going. Silly girl.
It's really great to hear. There's so many good communities out there.